Hello smart folks on the internet. Today I have a very scummy game for you where I just pummel my opponent with dirty strategies and tactics, and I think that some of you are here for it. Just a little reminder, the Polytopia Battle Royale is so if you're hyped, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It really makes me happy to see all of these YouTubers coming together to play a large game with a lot of really interesting players, and it's going to be insane. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of tribe I should pick, what kind of strategies I should try to make use of, and yeah, let's just dive into this game, shall we? We are playing on this nice little map here, and it is a 256 continents map, playing against Kiku. It's really nice. Let's take a look at the map now. Let's turn that off. It's really not looking too much into anyone's favor. There's one ruin pretty close to Kiku, one pretty close to us, two pretty close, but this is not a place you want to go that early on, so. And all of these are just somewhere in between all of us. And looking at this, you can see that my opponent here has port access, we have outpost access, so both of us are pretty equal. Let's count the villages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this continent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this continent. Two villages pretty close in the water. One is pretty close to us, but yeah, it looks pretty equal so far, and I'm trying to find a... Alright, let's just see how all of this is going to go. Let's turn on the replay fog, look at it from our perspective here. And yeah, the first couple of turns I decided to go this way, and the reason I did that is because, let's go back a little bit here, is because there's a shallow water tile over here, and it indicates that there's one land tile. Let's see if we can, yeah, and there's also a lot of fish. And we can link these up with outposts later in the game. And both of these cities can be upgraded with fish. So that's a really good reason to go this way instead of going this way. Even though I can upgrade my city with hunting as well, it looks like this is the more optimal route. Really personal choice, but I think that this is the right play. Get ourselves a warrior, of course. Only risky part about going for fishing instead of hunting is that hunting would allow me to upgrade my cities one turn sooner, whereas fishing is just a bit slower, just because of that 1-star difference. Really makes a difference here. But in the long term, polarism is going to be the way to go, so in general it is the right way to go for fishing. Hunting is also very good for Polaris, because archery is one of the end game strats that you need to get. You see this ruin here, we can upgrade, we can't upgrade our cities yet. Really unfortunate. And we also see that there's no animals over here, which really sucks, because that doesn't allow me to upgrade the city for some time now. Yeah, we start to go for some upgrades here. Finally, we do go for that city because we do want to get this ruin soon as well. We see another ruin, which is really lucky. And yeah, it's just... Try to go for a decent economy first, because that's one of the weak parts about Polaris early game. You can really tell here that my economy was not doing very good at all, basically. And we need to get lucky with these ruins to basically get into the game here. Get some resources, start getting some more units in order to grab this ruin as well. And we get another Mooney here, and that Mooney is going to allow me to expand this way more rapidly. Especially since this unit has skating, allows to double move, which is really nice. So we go for these ruins. take an explorer here? Yeah, it's a really good spot for an explorer. We know it basically will always go this way. It could possibly go like that, but it's just not the way things are supposed to go. Oh damn, it did go that way. But at least now we see that our opponent here is going onto this continent here. And we now have the knowledge that this continent is actually huge. It is so big. And it will be one of the places that we're going to fight quite a lot. And that's not too great for us, at least not yet, because we don't have riding or anything. And my opponent is over here. And there's a lot of water here. And that's our part where we need to get going, start freezing them, because that's the part where we basically thrive. Good population from the ruin, gives us some stars. A lot of stars here, it's really nice, 27, but our economy is not doing great at the moment. Get riding and organization just to upgrade that one city. Could have done something else, don't know what they got from this ruin. We see a scout coming up, and we get stars. That allows us to get polarism, which is really nice for us. Get an explorer here, and luckily it sees some land, and we get some information about the fact that they are not here yet. We can maybe possibly cut them out of this part of the map, which would allow me to basically out-expand, take control over the map before they can get to. See them go for this aggressive play here, but we can kill that scout pretty easily. It's pretty nice. We go for a block on this movement here. That warrior is now toast. See what's going on over here. I do a small little misplay on this rider here. Should not have put it there because it will just be an easy kill. Although the reason I put it over here is because that would allow me to move to this village over here just a bit quicker. Really interesting. Start linking up our cities, taking some resources on the go. Train another Mooney just to go for this lighthouse, which would allow me to start upgrading my capital more. Maybe get a Gami going, which would be very beneficial for us. See that my opponent here has riding, and that means that we are basically going to have a land battle on the water, and maybe on this land as well. So we are doing our job to stop them from getting onto the water pretty well. Get onto that ruin, start killing some units, start freezing some units, and upgrading our cities some more as well. And here we can get our first Gamio, and that is really nice because that also gives me a nice monument to use for some extra stars, which I can use to get more riders. And my economy is still not doing that well, and if we take a look at my opponent's economy here, it's basically the same. Let's move back to our point of view. You also see that they have a giant or two. Giants are not that strong against Polaris because they're just clunky units that can be frozen pretty easily. Let's move back to our perspective here. Also, if you count all of these cities, you can see that we're in the lead in terms of cities, which is really interesting to think about that. For a very slow tribe that Polaris is, they're really good at expanding really quickly, and that's just because their ability to walk on water, of course. We see some strong units over here, but it's not too big of a deal. We get more population from that ruin, which we really didn't need, but now we can get another Gami going, I guess. I was really debating whether or not to get an explorer here, but wouldn't really be worth it, I guess, because that would just lead to this lighthouse, and that's just one population. It'd be better to get just 1 star per turn extra. Start killing this this rider spam out of our opponent. Get that city over there. We just upgrade that, get some workshop. Nothing too spectacular. We see our opponent claiming a lot of villages. And we see them moving in with both of these giants. They are going to be focusing on this section of the map. And that's really good out of them. That's a really strong move. Because this is basically like a small section that we can't really put a lot of units into because we have polarism. We are focusing on this section of the map. So my opponent focusing on this part over here is really smart from them. And if only they had some more stars per turn, they could really punch a lot of units over here. And then try to defend this section with just defenders or something. Really, that would have made it so much harder to do anything. But I don't think that they had the means necessary, so to say. We get a veteran swordsman over there. That's nothing too interesting. We get some upgrades going. We finally kill that veteran swordsman of theirs. We could have gone for a siege there. I don't do it for some reason. With that 2 HP rider, that would have been a decent move, I guess. We do go for it with this 8 HP rider instead. We get another Gami going, train a lot of riders, and here we see my opponent getting aggressive with these giants. And they are starting to move in. They are trying to claim this part of the map for their own. And we don't really have the units to do anything against that, at least not currently. So that's really hard. They are going hard into the economy aspect of things, and I don't blame them for that. A game against Polaris can be really long, and you can really need your economy to get going in that kind of game. So usually I say don't focus on your economy too much if you can't use it, but in this case I feel like you could use it. And this is one of the critical turns here. We get archery, and archery is just this great way to be very mean to your opponents, and it's going to be the focus point of our strategy going on from now. You see, we are training some ice archers in some of these cities now, as well as this Mooney over here, because it's going to freeze this giant over here. And we want them to focus a lot of researchers on this section of the map so that we can push through this side and slow them down just as much as we need to basically be able to hit them while they can't really hit us. And the strategy we're going to use for that is really mean. And I'm really sorry, opponent. Also, this bomber over here, really scary. As you can see, a lot of units on this section of the map, even 3 giants now. But giants without support don't do much. Especially if they're frozen. We start being pretty aggressive towards this section here. Could have gone for a siege, probably would have been a good move. I make a lot of micro mistakes in this game. Don't blame me, it's something I'm trying to work on. It's really just something that I haven't really gotten good at, even over the last couple of years that I've been playing this game. It's just not my strong suit. If somebody can train me on a lot of these micro movements, please do so. I'm trying to get better at this game. we see that they need to move in a scout as well to kill this Mooney because I had a defense bonus due to ice archery. And yeah, my opponent here is trying to get rid of these archers because they can't really do much if they're around, as well as trying to get rid of this Gami. And they get another giant here, and that's one of their misplays. You can't really just get a giant and try to make that work against this strategy. It just doesn't work. It's a very expensive move to go for that. It would be better to just save up some stars and go for chivalry really early on. Because if you can manage to catch me without any good units to counter chivalry, it's game over. And I think that my opponent here just realized that too late to really make it matter. I do have a way to counter it with sleds, but not yet. This is one of the most crucial parts of the game and one of the decisions that I've made here. I decide to start freezing the units in their cities as much as I can. And it really doesn't matter that they're just 2-star units. Because what matters is the fact that they can't train any more units if they're frozen here. And that's really annoying for your opponent. It's really, really mean strategy, but it's really effective. And it basically reduces your opponent's city count as many times as you can freeze their units. And that is one of the ways that Polaris can get in your nerves, man. Not even on your nerves, they are getting in your nerves at this point. Take some more upgrades, of course. And yeah, they can kill some units every now and then, but they can't really compensate for all of these units I'm making because their cities are frozen. You can't train units if your city's frozen. Was that the plot of Frozen? I don't know. Here, all of their cities are now just useless. They only have 1, 2, 3 maybe. This one 4, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cities. There's just no good way to catch up unless you have a really good economy at that point and you can start slapping me with a lot of knights. And even if you do so, it's not a good way to just kill everything because I'm starting to spread out my units as well. I was anticipating that to happen. The giant push, which is once again a really expensive investment. They could have just spent all of their stars getting chivalry at that point. They go for a siege with a veteran rider that really doesn't do much. You can see how little they are achieving. Even though we can't freeze all of these units at the same time, we can freeze so many cities that they're just running dry on units. We don't even have to take any of their cities as long as we just freeze them. We should be fine. And it's a really nasty strategy that's really effective. And especially if your opponent doesn't see the line of getting chivalry very early on. And it always looks like getting giants is the right play. But it's often better to sacrifice a city or two and try to get chivalry rather than trying to keep a hold of your own cities while losing the endgame. Because if you can get a lot of knights here, just tear through all of these units, because all of them are chainable. That would be so much better for them. We got this this wall here, just because why not? They can siege anyways, but it doesn't matter because we can freeze that. We can stall for more time. And here we see, let's go back, that my opponent in fact does have knights now. But I think that this is too late. Doesn't really matter anymore, because we've frozen so many of their cities for so long that we basically already have such a lead. Yeah, we freeze all of these cities now. They can't really do much against any of it. And without even sieging or taking any cities, also they give up here. Without taking any cities, we could just freeze them so much that my opponent at this point, at the end of this turn, only had 2 more cities to work with. And both of them had knights if we reveal the fog. Even though they had knights, you can see they just don't have any units anymore. They can't do anything. They're just stuck. They're just stuck. You can't do anything with all of this. We get another Gami, by the way. It was just over. There was no way for them to do anything. If only they had gotten knights very early on, they would have been able to beat me, man. With like defenders in the cities here to just stall me to get these knights going. It was a really good game on their part for the most, because they had the right idea, but they just didn't execute the stalling tactic, and they didn't support their giants. So overall, pretty good game, but I think that just the Polaris matchup is really hard, and I don't see other people playing Polaris that much. Really hard to get a hold of them. And I don't want to just blow my own whistle, but I think that playing Polaris is just very difficult, and not a lot of people want to get into that kind of game. It's really hard to play them, but they can really just make a lot of weird plays that other tribes just can't. And I really love them for that. And I hope you love them for that as well. So if you did so, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Really helps me out. Maybe I'm going to release a new video with like another game, and it's going to be just extra content. I just want to see how well content like that would do on this channel. Polytopia is here to stay. Definitely here to stay. It's going to be still the main focus of this channel, because that's just my main game. But I want to branch out a little bit every now and then. And let me know what you think about that. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!